Most people think silver is simple. It has a price, it trades every day, and it's usually talked about alongside gold. Some people see it as a cheaper version of gold. Others treat it like just another industrial commodity. And because of that, silver is often misunderstood, mispriced, and dismissed. But silver is one of the most structurally complex markets in the world. In this video, I want to walk through 5 foundational facts about silver that most people never learn. These aren't predictions, price targets, or hype. They're structural realities, how silver actually functions as a market. These ideas come directly from my book and from studying silver not as a trade, but as a system. Once you understand these 5 things, silver's behavior, including its volatility, long periods of stagnation, and sudden explosive moves, starts to make a lot more sense. Silver occupies a position that no other major metal does. For thousands of years, silver was money. It was used as currency, stored as wealth, and trusted across civilizations. But even after gold became dominant, silver remained essential in monetary systems well into the modern era. That legacy hasn't disappeared. Today, silver is still treated as a monetary metal. Investors buy it as a hedge against inflation, currency debasement, financial instability, and systemic risk. When trust in institutions weakens, silver often re-enters the conversation. At the same time, silver is no longer just something people hold. It's something the modern economy consumes. Silver is one of the most conductive metals known. That makes it critical for electronics, solar panels, electric vehicles, batteries, medical devices, water purification systems, and chemical processes. Entire industries depend on it functioning properly. These 2 sources of demand behave very differently. Monetary demand is emotional and cyclical. It can rise quickly during fear and fall, just as quickly when confidence returns. Industrial demand is structural. It grows slowly, steadily, and predictably as technology expands and economies electrify. When both forms of demand rise at the same time, silver becomes extremely difficult to balance. And this dual role is the foundation of nearly every anomaly in the silver market. One of the biggest misconceptions about silver is how it's produced. Most people assume that when silver prices rise, mining companies simply produce more silver. That assumption is wrong. Over 2/3 of the world's silver supply comes as a byproduct of mining other metals, primarily copper, lead, and zinc. Silver is rarely the main target of a mining operation. This means silver supply is not controlled by silver economics. If silver prices double, it doesn't suddenly make sense for copper or zinc miners to ramp production unless those metals are also profitable to produce. Silver output increases only indirectly and often marginally. As a result, silver supply is structurally rigid. The market cannot quickly respond to rising demand with increased production. There is no on-off switch, no surge capacity, no rapid feedback loop between price and supply. This is fundamentally different from markets where price signals directly incentivize production. In silver's case, supply is slow, delayed, and largely out of its own control. Another key difference between silver and gold is what happens after the metal is mined. Gold is almost never destroyed. Nearly all the gold ever mined still exists somewhere today in vaults, jewelry, or long-term holdings. Silver is different. Silver is used in millions of products, often in extremely small quantities. It's embedded in circuit boards, solder, photovoltaic cells, medical tools, and industrial applications. In many cases, the amount of silver used is too small to justify recovery once the product reaches the end of its life. That silver is effectively gone. Recycling helps, but recycling only works when silver is concentrated enough to be economical. Much of it simply disappears into waste streams, landfills, or permanent industrial use. This means silver is not just circulating, it is being permanently removed from the available supply base. Over time, this creates a quiet structural drain that doesn't show up immediately in price, but compounds year after year. Gold accumulates. Silver erodes. Most people assume silver prices are driven by physical supply and demand. In reality, silver prices are largely set in paper markets. Silver is traded through futures contracts, ETFs, derivatives, and financial instruments that represent claims on silver rather than ownership of physical metal. The total volume of these claims vastly exceeds the amount of silver that actually exists above ground. This doesn't require manipulation or conspiracy. It's simply how modern financial markets function. Paper markets provide liquidity, but they also abstract price discovery away from physical reality. Large positions can be created or closed without a single ounce of silver moving. As long as confidence in paper claims remains high, this system functions smoothly. But when confidence weakens, or when physical demand tightens, price adjustments can become sudden and violent. This structure explains why silver can remain undervalued for long periods, and why it tends to move explosively rather than gradually. Even when shortages become obvious, silver supply cannot be fixed quickly. Developing a new mine typically takes 10 to 20 years. Environmental approvals, financing, infrastructure, political risk, and technical challenges all slow the process. And because most silver is a byproduct, even new mines don't guarantee meaningful increases in silver output. Supply remains constrained by decisions made in entirely different markets. There is no rapid response mechanism. This means imbalances don't resolve quickly. They build slowly, often invisibly, until pressure becomes unavoidable. Silver's supply side is rigid by design, and that rigidity matters over long time horizons. Silver looks simple on the surface. It trades like a commodity. It has a daily price. It's often discussed alongside gold. But beneath that surface is a market shaped by dual demand, indirect supply, permanent consumption, financial abstraction, and slow-moving production. Understanding silver requires more than watching charts. It requires understanding structure. This video isn't a prediction. It's a framework. And once you understand that framework, silver's behavior, Its volatility, its long quiet periods, and its sudden moves begins to make sense.